creative mind, welcome back to another DIY session with me, guys. It's been a long time on this space, and I'm so glad to be back. It's so good to see your beautiful faces once again. Thank you guys for sticking around, and to all the new subscribers, too, guys. I see you, and you're welcome. It's been a long break, and it's so good to be back. And in today's video, it's going to be a comeback, starting back with our DIY weekly videos. So in today's episode, guys, I'm going to be working with this fabric. This is crepe and Kampala. I'll be mixing the two to make this design that you are seeing on your screen. Watching me for the first time, kindly like, yes, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stick around. Thank you, and let's go right into it. So I want you to go ahead, take your measurements. The measurements you'll be needing will be on your screen. So just go ahead, you can pause the video, go back, take the measurement, and let's get started, guys. First thing I'll be doing will be to cut the main body of the dress, which I'll be working with this crepe fabric. The fabric I'm working with is really light. It's a light crepe fabric. And it's a light fabric. It's either you work with the light crepe or you work with Jokoso. So those are the type of fabric that's going to give you the results like what we have or what I showed you. So now I'm actually working with 2 yards and half. So because mine is going to have a shoulder seam. So I'm just going to place it on fold here. Once I do so, I'll be using the length of the fabric because it is double length to my advantage, okay? So that's why I'm using lesser yards. If you don't want it to have shoulder seam, you probably will be using up to 4 yards, okay? So once that is done, once I've placed it on fold, go ahead now and spread it on my cutting table to make sure everything is well arranged. That is very important. This is going to be my CF and my CB. That's my center front and my center back. So they are here. Okay. So now the next thing I'll do is just create a straight line here. That's because I don't want to start my markings directly on at the self edge. I don't want to start marking directly at the self edge. So that's why I'm just doing this. Now I've created the straight line here. Now the next thing I'll do now will be to work with all my measurements. Now the first measurement I'll consider is my back measurement. That's a shoulder to shoulder measurement. Mine is 15 divided by 2. I have 7.5. So I'll just be using the 7.5 directly because remember I said it's not going to have anything. Now basically, when working with basic wears or fitted wears for my armpit, I often use 8 or 8.5. But because this is a boubou, so it's meant to be free. So you could do 10, you can do 11. Okay, just something. However you are comfortable with it, because you want a lot of ease, which that is what designs like this is all about. So I'm just going to from the line I created here, I'll measure 11. So I'm going to measure the 11 inches forward. Okay, then I'll create a straight line there. The straight line is just serving as a tight line. Okay, so that's what it is serving as. So why you need to do more also, remember this is going to have a shoulder seam. For if those that will not have shoulder seam, you can stick to 10. But then mine is going to have a shoulder seam. So that means I have to do what? I have to do more. Considering the half-inch seam allowance, I'm still going to take in at the shoulder area. Okay. Now once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do here will be, okay, let me just create a straight line here so you see what I've done here. So the same 7.5, I'll bring it on the straight line here. Okay, then I'll just connect it. These are just to give us guidelines on what we are about to do. Okay, they are just guidelines. So I hope you guys can see my lines very well. Now once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do now is this. I'll be using this space here. I intentionally extended the line here because this space here will be where I'll remove my sleeve from. Okay. Now, the next thing I'll do now is this. Whichever is the biggest of your waist, your bust, and your hip, we need that measurement. So for me, mine is the hip. So go ahead, divide your hip circumference by 4 and you add 4 inches to it. The 4 inches will be serving as your seam allowance and your ease. Your hip circumference, or if yours is bust, whichever is the biggest, divide it by 4 and add 4 to it. So mine is 48 divided by 4, that is 12, which is here. Now plus 4, now which is this now. So total, I have 16. So I'll be measuring the 16 inches all the way. Crepe, the length of the crepe is 58 or even, yes. So now the length of the crepe is the total, is my total gown length. If yours is going to be shorter, if it's going to be 3/4 or short, go ahead, measure the length, connect, make sure you create a straight line here, there, so it gives you a stop point. Now, so once for me, I'm using the same length of my fabric as my gown length, so I'm just going to measure that 16 inches all the way. I'm measuring it all the way to my M, okay? The next thing we are going to do will be to connect this on a straight line now, okay? So this is it. So it's just going to be a straight line all the way. This is it. Now, once that is done, so what I'm simply going to do, you don't want your this point here to be sharp like this. Okay, so you just slightly, just use your free hand, just curve it. Just slightly curve it this way. Just slightly curve it so it doesn't come out too sharp this way. We don't need that. So we just want to curve it so that joining it is so easy. Alright. So once that is done, I'm coming back here now to shape the neckline. Now to shape the neckline, this is what I'll be using. I'll be working with neck width of 3 inches. That's okay. Now for the back, I'll be working with neck depth of 1 inch. I'll just go ahead and connect it this way. Alright, now this is it. Now I'll shape the front neck this same point too. Now for I'm still going to use the same neck width. So the front neck, you could decide to use the same design and you can decide to change it anyhow it works for you. So but remember, it's not going to have a zip. So make sure you consider that. So now for the neck depth at the front, I can decide to work with 6 inches. Okay, and 6. So just do what works for you. So I'm using a straight ruler to connect the neckline. Now, so let's go ahead and cut. Now, mind you, the first thing I'll be doing will be just to cut the back neck here. Okay, so I won't cut the front row. So that don't bust. So just cut the back neck only. Then follow the straight line. That's the straight line I'm following here is the top line I created. Okay. So note that I did not bother to shape the elbow, I mean the shoulder or whatever, because I don't need that. Now once that is done, I'll come here. I want it to be the same length with both front and back. So I'm just going to go ahead, cut here. Once that is done, I'll cut through this way. Alright. I'll open this place up. Okay, this and that is it. Now I'm going to remove the back so I can cut my front neck. Make sure you separate it very well. Very important. Make sure there is no um other piece at this point. Okay. You can now go ahead now and cut this part out. Alright, ladies, and that's it. So we are going to go ahead, cut the pocket and cut the hood. On my head, I've cut the pocket, so you can see it has a pocket. Though it is the fabric, but I'll be using this as the pocket fabric. So I'm working with 5 by length 10 and a half. This is with 5 on photo by length 10 and a half. So I decided to do an extension at my sleeve area, so I'm making use of this there. Then my hood is going to have a rope, so I have this rope. It is with 2 inches by length 16. Now the last thing we are going to do will be to cut the hood. Now I would love to advise you that before you cut this, it's either you've joined your shoulder, or you know your neck circumference. One of the two. Either you've joined your shoulder or you know your neck circumference. Okay, so now let's go get right into it. Now the next thing I'll be doing now is this. Now this is it. Remember, I told you place it on fold. So I've placed it on fold now. This is it. I've placed it on fold this way. So I'll go ahead place it on fold again because I'll be needing 4 pieces for my hood. I'll be needing 4 pieces of fabric for that. So now what I'll simply do now is to go ahead and mark all my measurements needed. Now the first measurement will be the cap height. That is how long you want your hood to be. So for me, I'll be working with 14 inches. So this is my 14. You can make it bigger if you are working with fabric like this. Okay, this is Kampala. So if you are using softer fabric, you can use your exact measurement. Okay, so I'll be working with 14. Now I'll measure the 14 all the way. Now once that is done, I'll connect it this way. Okay. The next thing will be the cap width. That is how wide you want your cap to be. Measuring from your skull at the back to your face at the front. Okay, so it could be 9 for some people, it could be 10, it could be 11. But whatever you do, consider your seam allowances. So I'll be working with, I'll do 12. I'll be doing 12. Okay. Now, once that is done, I'll go ahead, connect it on a straight line as well. Now, the next thing I'm going to do now is this. I need to shape the neck here, okay? Because my neck cannot accommodate all the big measurements I have here. This is it. I'm here to join the shoulder seam as well. So I'll measure the back neck. I'll pick this is the back piece. So I'll measure, confirm what I have here now. So I'm having 7.5 here. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. At the back here, just go ahead, measure 4. Okay, measure 4. Make sure the value you have here should be your neck circumference divided by 2. Your neck circumference divided by 2. And consider your seam allowances. Your neck circumference divided by 2, consider your seam allowances. This can be tricky, but if you calm down, you are going to get it. It's back piece, okay? Like mine is 7.5. That 7.5, I'm going to go ahead divide it by 2 directly, okay? When you divide 7.5 by 2, that's like 3 3/4 or so, okay? So just go ahead, measure the 3 3/4. Now, once that is done, the next thing we are going to do now is there will be a front piece, okay? But at the front piece, let me show you something. When you look at the design, you will notice that the hood did not come all the way. It won't come all the way to this point, okay? Aside if you want yours to be like that, there are some designs that are like that. But for this design we are making, it isn't like that. It just stopped halfway. So you can just come from here, measure halfway. Remember, this is the neck now for the front. From here to here, I'm having 7. So if I want to divide it by 2, that means I will stop at 3.5 here. So I'll just go ahead and work with that 3.5. But mind you, I'll add 1 to it. I'm adding 1 because there is going to be a rope at the front, and I want to have a seam allowance so that it accommodate enough seam allowance so that it accommodates my rope. I hope you guys understand this part. But if you don't understand, just pause it, go back and watch it again. Okay. So I measure 4 inches forward. Now let me do this first. I mark the 4 inches here, right? Now, at that point where I mark the 4 inches, I'm going to come down a bit because looking at it, it is not a straight line. Now I'm going to be following at the front. So I'll come here just to create a straight line down here, come down by 3 inches, okay? Then it simply means I'll connect here now to here, okay? I'll connect it this way now, this way down, okay? Now this one comes here, all the way here, and this is it. Now this is my neck for at the back of my hood. I hope you understand, guys. So now this is it. Next thing I'm going to do now will be at this top here. Remember, this is not going to be a straight line. It's not going to be sharp like this. So at this point here, you want to get the center this way. Just try and get the center. So at the center here, come in by 3.5 or 3 rather. Come measure 3 so that it helps you to shape the back looking more like a skull. I hope you understand. So guys, if you don't want yours to have hoodie, you can run away. But if you want yours to have, stick with me, okay? Now it's so simple. Now once that is done, from this point measure 3 inches. You can do up to 4. But I want you to do 3, probably it's a DIY high. So I'm believing a beginner might want to replicate this design. So just go all the way here. Just go here all the way. Just go all the way. More like you're just coming here. Can you see now? Now, just connected to this part. Now, at the front, you come down here by 1 inch. I do up to 1.5 or more at times, but this is strictly for our 101, fashion 101, so they can get along. So I'm just going to keep going, keep going, and shape it. This is so that the front of the cap does not look like it's coming up too much. So and that's it. So I'll curve this place, remember, all the way here, bring it here. Now once that is done, I'll go ahead, pick up my ruler, connect it from here, this point now to this point. Okay, connect it from this point to this point. Now, and that's the wood now. So we have the wood all the way here, 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 here. If you are doing this for the first time, before you cut it out, like I will advise you, try and join your shoulder seam so that once the shoulder seam is joined, you can use that measurement to confirm everything here. Here now I'm having 9 inches. Remember I said there's going to be a seam allowance here which we take half out. I'll be left with 8.5. At the front I'll be having half or 1 inch seam allowance. Okay, so now I hope you understand. So here now I'm having a total of 9 inches. At least my neck circumference, this should cover it. I hope you understand. That's the whole logic about it. This should cover my neck circumference, this 9. Okay guys, so let's go ahead now and cut it out. Confirm everything, make sure it is accurate, okay? So we go ahead and cut it out. So that's it. So at this point, I'll open it up this way. Okay, so this way I'll start cutting from. So if you look at this place, for those that have been doing this for a very long time, you see that this place is still looking like it will probably come up. But why I'm not bothered is because it will have a rope. So that's not an issue. Even if I decide not to do anything at this point, with the rope, I'll be able to launch it a bit there. So I'm going to go ahead and follow this line now to cut this part out. Alright, so guys, this is our hood looking like it. I hope you guys understand. So just go ahead, please and please, if you don't understand, go ahead and watch it again. This is the base of the hood. This is the back, looking like the skull, and this is where your face comes out from. So this is my robe, like I said, just so that my hood we have a touch of the main fabric. So that's why I just had to like cut a rope for this. So guys, you know what? If you love to see how I'll be joining and sewing this together, just stick around and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys. Bye bye.